bhoja vikasaya papadvanta kshayaya cha Shriman avirabhut bhaumau Ramanuja divakaraha tasmai Ramanujaryaya namah paramayogine yashruti smriti sutranam antarjwalam ashishamat. Swami Ramanuja incarnated in this material world to uplift the downtrodden samsaris, to establish Ubhaya Vedanta and to mend the lives of people so that they all become dharmikas. Swami Ramanuja was an incarnation of Adisesha. This shloka explains the uniqueness of this great Acharya. Sheshova, Sainyanatova, Shripatirveti Satvikaihi. The Sattvika scholars debate whether Ramanuja is an incarnation of Sriman Narayana or of Adisesha or of Vishwaksena or the 5 weapons of Sriman Narayana. Sheshova, Sainyanatova, Shripatirva. Who would he be? Such was the greatness and the services that he had rendered in the 120 years he lived in this world. He was born in the year 1017 and lived till 1137. Bhagavans and many Acharyas have revealed the greatness, the glories of Swami Ramanuja. It is quite common for the Sishyas of any Acharya to talk about the greatness of their Acharyas. But in the case of Ramanuja, it was not only his Sishyas who have talked about his greatness, but also his Acharyas and Bhagavan himself who had revealed the greatness of Ramanuja. The topic for today's upanyasam is Sri Ramanuja Vaibhavam, or the glories of Ramanuja. Instead of talking the glories of Ramanuja in our words, let me only narrate the hagiologies, the happenings in Guru Parampara Prabhavam, the episodes that took place in the life and history of Ramanuja, which themselves stand as a testimony for his greatness. Ramanuja was the son of Keshava Somayajiyar and Kantimati Ammayar. He was born in Sriperumbudur in the month of Chittirai, in the star of Tiruvadirai. Ramanuja was a great scholar, but he was not only a Vedanti, but also a great reformer, an effective administrator, a prolific writer, and above all, one who took pity on all the downtrodden and helped them to come up. We can talk for hours together on the greatness of Ramanuja, but we do not have too many hours. For that sake, let me only restrict to the importance, the significance as revealed by many Bhagavans, Divyadesha Temberuman, Alvar, and the Acharyas of Ramanuja. Ramanuja was credited with many names. Although he was named as Ilayalvar by his father, he was called Lakshmana Muni as he was an incarnation of Lakshmana. Adisesha, the serpent bed of Sriman Narayana, serves in his own form in the first Yuga, Krita Yuga. Then in the second Yuga, Treta Yuga, Adisesha incarnates as Lakshmana. Lakshmana followed Sri Rama to the forest and rendered all services possible. Then in the third Yuga, The same Adishesha, Lakshmana, incarnate as Balarama. Balarama, along with Sri Krishna, helped him a lot. Now the fourth Yuga, Kali Yuga, Ananta Prathamam Rupam, Lakshmanastu Tatah Param. Ananta, the first form, Lakshmana, the second form, Tritiyaha Balabhadraha, Balarama, the third form, Kalo Kashid Bhavishyati. Who will he be in the fourth Yuga? Kalo Ramanuja. He would incarnate as Ramanuja in Kali Yuga. Ramanuja was the propounder, in fact, who preached the philosophy of Vishishtadvaita. Advaita was preached by Shankara Bhagavatpada, Adi Shankaracharya. Dvaita by Madhvacharya. Shankara was before Ramanuja and Madhva was later to Ramanuja. Ramanuja preached Vishishtadvaita as he received it from the Alvars and his Acharyas. One hand, he was a great Vedanti philosopher. On the other hand, he had one important treasure with him. While the other Acharyas had only one Veda, which is the Sanskrit Veda, Ramanuja had a treasure, a blessing in the Tamil Vedas. Tamil Vedam, Nalayara Divya Pravandham by all the Alvars. So Ramanuja had a twin benefit. One, the Samskrita Vedas, and two, the Dravida Vedas. So it made the job of Ramanuja easier. If I can tell you the fact, Samskrita Vedas talk about Bhagavan as the Supreme, whereas Dravida Vedas, although they talk about the supremacy of God, they focus more on the accessibility of Sriman Narayana. One may be supreme, but that supremacy will itself distance you from the common. This is what we normally see. Since Ramanuja had the unique advantage of having Samskrita Veda and Dravida Veda together, he was able to blend both and bring out the greatness of Sriman Narayana in its real sense. Narayana is supreme for all gods, but at the same time, he is very accessible even to the cowherd boys. He was accessible even to the Gopikas, to Dadibanda, to Sigriva and the monkey's army, to the demon's army Vibhishana, to Guha who was a hunter, to Shabari who was a huntress. So he was accessible to all. Now this thought, in fact, soothes us. That relieves us from the fact that we had distanced ourselves thinking that Bhagavan is too far. He is inaccessible to us. He is supreme, the creator. If at all you know that someone is a creator of this universe, you won't dare go near him. But the creator is so fond of you. This was the blend revealed by Swami Ramanuja. That made him the most popular Acharya. He was named as Ramanuja by Kanchi Tevaperumal himself, the presiding deity of Kanchipuram, Varadaraja, Devadiraja, Peralurala Perumal. It was there where Ramanuja assumed asceticism. He assumed as a sannyasi. When he was a sannyasi, when he turned to be a sannyasi, he was named as Ramanuja. So his original name, the name given by his father, was Ilayalvar. He was called as Lakshmana Muni as he was an incarnation of Lakshmana. Then on, he was named as Ramanuja when he became a sannyasi. I am going to now talk to you about one little hagiology, where Ramanuja was named as Udayavar. When was he named as Udayavar? The story goes like this. All these are well narrated, recorded in the Guru Parampara Prabhava. There is a text called Arayarappadi Guru Parampara Prabhava that talks about all the Acharyas and the Alvars. It begins right from Bhagavan when he resolved to give birth to Alvars and Acharyas to correct this world. Lakshmi Natha, the Prathamacharya, the first Acharya in the lineage of Shri Vaishnava Sampradayam is Lakshminatha Sriman Narayana. Sriman Narayana preached Tirumantram, the first of the sacred three mantras, Tirumantram Ashtakshari Mantram at Badarikashram. The same Sriman Narayana in Vishnu Lokam preached Dvaya Mahamantram to Mahalakshmi. Sriman Narayana, when he incarnated as Lord Krishna in the Bhumi, Kurukshetra Bhumi, in the chariot, Arjuna's chariot, he preached the third sacred mantra, Charamashloka. Tirumantram, Dvayam, Charamashloka. Tirumantram is the 8-letter mantra. Dvayam, Narayana, Charanau Sharanam Prabhadye, Shrimate Narayanaya Namaha, Dvaya Mahamantra. Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Braja, Aham Tva Sarvapapebhyo Mokshayishyami Mashuchaha. The great shloka, the important shloka in Bhagavad Gita is Charama Shloka. These three mantras together are called as the sacred Rahasya Traya. All Acharyas in Sampradaya, they take birth most importantly to preach this Rahasya Traya. Their mission for their life is to preach Rahasya Traya and transform people's life to be a bhakti-filled life. Ramanuja also was no exception. He also incarnated to preach Rahasya Traya. But to our surprise, we will find that when Narayana revealed Tirumantram, he himself incarnated in two forms. One Narayana and the other Nara. Nara and Narayana Avatara in Badarikashama. Next, in Vishnu Loka, he preached to Mahalakshmi. Third, in Kurukshetra, to Arjuna. Naranarananai Ulahattaranul Chingama Varittan. But the issue is, all those who were the recipients of those three mantras did not further preach it to anyone. Although Nara received the Tirumantram, did he share it with anyone? Did he preach? Although Arjuna received Charamashloka, did he ever open his mouth and talked about Charamashloka? They did not. Then how do we chant them now? When they did not share it with anyone, but we have the wealth today. How do we chant these three mantras? It was Sriman Narayana reclining in Srirangam, Periya Perumal, Ranganatha, who in turn preached all the three mantras to Mahalakshmi Sriranganachiyar Devi. That is where this got re-established. Although it was established in the initial stages, then it withered off. It was not there. It vanished. Again, Sriman Narayana, who was the presiding deity of Srirangam, Sri Ranganatha, he praised these three sacred mantras to his divine consort Sri Mahalakshmi, Sri Ranganachiyar. Then on from there to Nammalvar to Nathamunigal, Uyyakonda, Manakkal Nambigal, and thereon. So, the first Acharya, the meaning for the word Lakshminatha Samarambham in Purattalvan Shlokam, which Bhagavan? Lakshminatha is Sriman Narayana. Is that Sriman Narayana Vaikuntha Narayana or Kshiradhi Narayana or Vibhava Narayana? Which is Sriman Narayana? When we call Lakshminatha Samarambham, begin from Lakshminatha. That Lakshminatha is Srirangam Ranganatha. He is Lakshminatha. Lakshmi Sri Ranganachiyar. So Lakshminatha Samarambham, beginning from Sri Ranganatha, all have talked about the greatness of Swamy Ramanuja. It happens like this. Srirangam Perumal is the head of all the 108 Divyadesanas. Srirangam is the capital of Sri Vaishnavism. We all go in search of job opportunities. You had all come here in search of job opportunities. You are born somewhere. You studied somewhere. You are brought up elsewhere. You are here now. Similarly, Puihi Alvar, Puthattalvar, Peyalvar, Tirumadichi Alvar were all born in the surroundings of Kanchipuram and Sriperumbudur. Puihi Alvar at Kanchi, Puthattalvar in Tirukkadanmallai, Mahabalipuram, Peyalvar in Chennai, Mailapur, Tirumadichi Alvar in Tirumadichai. Similarly, many Acharyas, Ramanuja in Sriperumbudur, Tirukkachi Nambigal in Pundamalli, Yamba in Maduramangalam, Mudaliyandan in Pettai, Purattalvan in Puram, Swami Vedanta Desika in Thuppil, all in and around Kanchi. But Swami, to our surprise, we will find that although they were all born in Kanchi Tondamandalam, they didn't live there. They all migrated to Srirangam. What for, Swami? In search of service opportunity, not job opportunity. They all reached Srirangam in search of, not job, but to serve Shiva Vaishnavism and Sanatana Dharma. They moved, as it was the capital of Shiva Vaishnavism, they all moved. Periya Perumal accepted all of them. Since he is the emperor, he is the rightful owner of any treasure. If you get a podayam, if suddenly you find a treasure at home, then that doesn't belong to you. You are not the rightful owner. It has to be submitted to the treasury. Similarly, wherever a good noble soul is found, he has to be submitted to the treasury, which is Srirangam. So you may be born anywhere, but finally, Sheradana Udavo Perum Shelvarku, all the poor people turn poorer, but the rich people, they turn richer. This is what the world happens. There are wealthy people, they become more wealthy. There are poor people who turn more poor. Similarly, there are many Divadeshan Swami which don't have anyone. They go without anyone. But Srirangam, Kanchipuram, they have too many people already. Many people still migrate. What to do? That is the greatness of that Perumal. So Periya Perumal, the head of all the 108 Divadeshans, wanted to get Swami Ramanuja into Srirangam. But Ramanuja was studying under Yadava Prakasha. He quit those studies. He completed. Then he was serving Kanchipuram Varadaraja Perumal. Srinidhim, Nidhim Aparam Arthinam, Arthitartha Paridana Dikshitam, Sarvabhuta Sugurdam Dayanidhim, Devaraja Mathiraja Masraye. This is a shloka saluting Kanchi Deva Perumal. This shloka was written by Swami Purakkaalvan in Varadarajastavam. Srinidhim, Nidhim Aparam Arthinam. Bhagavan is a treasure. He is a wealth. Aparam Arthinam. To all the seekers of wealth, spiritual wealth, he grants them spiritual wealth. And he is the wealth of Mahalakshmi herself. Srinidhim, Nidhim Aparam Arthinam, Arthitartha Paridana Dikshitam, Sarvabhuta Sugurdam, Dayanidhim. He is a well-wisher to all the human beings. Not only the human beings, to all the creatures, the living beings. Sarvabhuta Sugurdam, Dayanidhim, an ocean of compassion. Devaraja Mathiraja Masraye. Let me salute to Kanchi Devadiraja Perumal. Now we are going to talk about a great sacrifice done by Kanchi Varadaraja Perumal. Ramanuja was his wealth. He possessed the wealth of Ramanuja. But Ranganatha thought, I must possess. Now let me see how to get Ramanuja to Srirangam. He sent an Arayar Swami. Arayar Swami, those who sing Alva's Pashanam before Bhagavan are known as Arayar Swami or Vinnappam Seivar. Arayar Swami reached Kanchi Deva Perumal. He bluntly requested, Sri Ranganatha sent me as his emissary. He wants Ramanuja to reach Srirangam. But prompt came the refusal from Deva Perumal. He said, I cannot part with Ramanuja. He will forever remain with me. He will stay with me. Arayar Swami returned to Srirangam and with a lot of dejection, he informed the message to Ranganatha. Ranganatha did not lose heart. He said, you will have to travel again to Kanchi. Swami, not me. If need be, you please find someone else. I had already gone once, broken my nose. I am not willing to go back again. No, this time, let me tell you how to make this happen. He called for Arayar Swami, whispered a secret in his ears and sent him again. Arayar returned to Kanchipuram. He started singing the glory of Kanchi Deva Perumal, Munnilum Pinnalagiya Perumal, Kasturi Namam Alagiya Perumal, Avaranangalukku Adagu Kodukkum Perumal, Attigiri Arulala Perumal. These are all the Pandatams for Deva Perumal. Attigiri Arulala Perumal. He is the one who stands on the Attigiri, Hastigiri, the little hillock on which Bhagavan Devadiraja stands. Hastigiri Arulala Perumal, Vali, Vali, Vali. Munnilum Pinnalagiya Perumal. Oh God, you are so beautiful in your back than your front. Your profile says that your front is little less beautiful, but your back is so great. Munnilum Pinnalagiya Perumal, Avaranangalukku Adagu Kodukkum Perumal. We all wish whether we get more beautiful by decorating with jewellery. Whereas for Bhagavan, he makes the jewellery beautiful. So he doesn't receive beauty from the jewellery. But Avaranangalukku Adagu Kodukkum Perumal, Munnilum Pinnalagiya Perumal, Kasturi Namam Alagiya Perumal, Deva Perumal is always fond of stotram. He is a stotra priya. So he in fact lost his senses due to stotram and gave his word. Whatever you want is yours now. You can ask anything you want. I grant you forthwith. Immediately, Alayar Swami requested, Nammi Ramanujani Tandarudal Ahadu. Can you part with Swami Ramanuja? Immediately, Devaraja thought that was my mistake. I should not have given the word to you. But now that I have given, I stand by my promise. You can take Ramanuja with you. Although Devaraja was very, very sad parting with Ramanuja, he had to. So Ramanuja reaches Sri Rangam. This will be a very sad moment where any girl, when she gets married, she will have to leave her Perandagam, leave her birthplace and go to the in-laws place. When she goes, she cries, she leaves, she's so sad, she's rejected. Everything happens. Even during the wedding, the father, mother, they cry, all cry. The cry is for what? Is it because good that we leave this place? Somehow it is their plight. So Ramanuja, but what I am talking is true here. Ramanuja's love and affection to Kanchi was true, was founded on good reasons. So Ramanuja took leave of all the Divadesha Perumal, left for Kanchipuram, had a holy dip in Kaveri, and he enters the great Sanctum Sanctorum. He enters the temple, goes through all the Mandapa, Gopura, Prakara, had darshan of all the Upasannidhis, then on to Chakratalvar Sannidhi, to Sri Ranganathyar Sannidhi, finally to Sri Ranganatha Sannidhi. This place is the glorious Bhuloka Vaikuntham, Sri Rangam, Karishailam, Anjanagirim, the list of places visited by Swami Ramanuja. The first place, Sri Ranga Mangalanidhim Karunanivasam, or you can say Kaveri Virajaseyam, Vaikuntham Rangamandiram, Savasudevo Rangesha, Pratyaksham Paramam Padam. This is Pratyaksha Paramapada, Bhuloka Vaikuntha. Sri Ranganatha is nobody else. He is the same Sri Vaikunthanatha. Vaikunthanatha descended to this material world, reclined in Sri Rangam as Sri Ranganatha. Ranganatha Perumal came out of his Garbhagraham, invited Swami Ramanuja, ordered his Archaka Paricharakas to honor him with first water, with Shatari, with Pushpamale, with Fariyattam, and proclaims. It was then when Ramanuja was proclaimed as Udayavar. The name given by, the title given by Ranganatha to Ramanuja was Udayavar. Udayavar means one who possesses. Udayavar, the owner. The owner for what? Ubhaya Vibhutiyayam Udayavar. From today on, you will be the owner of the two worlds. Bhagavan has two worlds to his possession. One world, that which is subject to creation and destruction, is this Leela Vibhuti, comprising of 14 worlds in one Andakataha and millions of Andakatahams together. Andanam tu Sahasranam Sahasran Yayutanicha Koti Koti Shatanicha. There are countless Andams in this universe. All these together, till Brahma Satyaloka and just before Viraja Nadi, they are all called as Leela Vibhuti. This is 1/3 of Bhagavan's wealth. Tripada Syamritan Divi, Padosya Vishwabhutani, Tripada Syamritan Divi, Padaha, Asya Vishwabhutani. Pada is 1/4. Pada 1/4. Tripada 3/4 is Sri Vaikuntham. That is the permanent world, the eternal world. So this is a world which is subject to creation and destruction, Srishti Samhara. Whereas Nitya Vibhuti is a world which is beyond Srishti and Samhara. That is Nitya forever. That is 3 times bigger than this material world. So Bhagavan has two wealths now. One possession, the Leela Vibhuti. Another, Nitya Vibhuti. Bhagavan bestows both these Vibhutis on Swami Ramanuja and now proclaims that you would be Udayavar. Udayavar, one who would own Leela Vibhuti and Nitya Vibhuti. This would mean you will have all rights to mend the lives of people in the material world. If you mend, and they also mend their lives, when they come and surrender to your feet, you will have the right to show them, you will have the right to grant them Vaikuntha. So he has the right to correct people in this world. Once they are corrected, they will have to be liberated. But again, he can't go and stand before Ranganatha to get them liberated. Instead, I give you that right too. You will hold Vaikuntham also. From today, whoever you want that they should reach Moksham, if you grant, they reach Vaikuntham. So both Vibhutis from that day were with Swami Ramanuja. This is the first place where Bhagavan Periya Perumal himself revealed the glory of Ramanuja. From that day, He was known as Udayavar. This was the importance of Ranganatha, revealing the importance of Swami Ramanuja. Let us move on to Srinivasa, Tirupati, Venkatachalapati, Perumal, Tiruvenkadamudayan. Although Periya Perumal orders, it is customary. Other devatas carry out the orders. There will be people who just order. They won't do anything. But other people have to carry out the order. Ranganatha orders. From today you can grant anyone moksha. But it was not Ranganatha who granted anyone moksha. He did not see that Ramanuja grants moksha. But in fact, Tiruvenkadamudayan carried out the order. There was one by name Tumbayur Pondi. Every day she supplied milk, curd, ghee and other materials to Ramanuja's ashram. All through 30 days. Throughout the month, she supplied. On the 31st day, she had to be paid. They had an account. Mudaliyandan, Kidambiyachan, Bandar, Shendar. They were all the administrators of Ramanuja's ashram. They called for the accounts. They wanted to pay that lady, Tumbayur Kondi, but that lady refused. But she was standing. She had some reservations. She said, I did not supply milk to take money from you. Then what else do you want? I have heard that Ramanuja can give a chit. Ramanuja gives a chit with a signature in it. If I take the chit to Tiruvenkadamudayan of Tirupati, he immediately grants moksha. I supplied milk and ghee to get that chit from you. Can you get a chit from Ramanuja? Mudaliyandan was shocked. We do not know this secret yet. We are known as great Vidwans. Although we are close to Ramanuja, we did not realize this greatness of Swami. Here is the fruit vendor. Here is the milk vendor who knew this secret. He went to Ramanuja and represented the girl and said, Ramanuja, it seems you will give a chit. And the lady is waiting for the chit. Yes, I will give her the chit. Ramanuja took a Volachivadi, a palm leaf, wrote a letter to Tiruvenkadamudayan and signed Ramanuja Dasan. He wrote so, gave it to Tumbayur Pandi. She immediately left Sri Lanka. She left for Tirumala. As she approached Tirumala, Bhagavan prepared himself. He knew that he is going to get a request letter. And before the letter hits his gate, he wanted to grant Vaikuntham to Tumbayur Pandi. Even when Tumbayur Pandi was entering the Mahadwaram of Tirumala, the curtains dropped. From there to the Mahadwaram, Bhagavan gave darshan and told Tumbayur Pandi, from there you will reach Vaikuntham. You need not present the paper to me. No need at all. If I receive the palm leaf and then grant you moksham, that would be a disrespect to Ramanuja. If I know that Ramanuja had signed, that will be the time when I would grant you moksham. So Tiruvenkadamudayan revealed the glory of Swami Ramanuja, that he has the authority to grant moksham. Ramanuja also helped Tiruvenkadamudayan to re-establish himself. This story will be popular to you and it's a surprising story. Tiruvenkadamudayan has shared his Shankam and Chakram with Tondaman Chakravarti. He was a very dear disciple of Tiruvenkadamudayan, but he made a mistake. Whoever and whatever close they are, you must not share very vital things with them. You must hold it on to you. Bhagavan's most important is his divine conch and discus, his Shankha and Chakra. Some word of love, Bhagavan gave the Shankha Chakra to Tondaman Chakravarti. It was in his custody. When Tiruvenkadamudayan was without the Shankha Chakra, promptly there was a doubt. The suspicion was, is he Shiva or Vishnu? Since he has not, the marks of Vishnu are not with him, so he may be Shiva. Thus was the claim. Ramanuja had to rush to Tiruvenkadam, re-establish that this is God, this is a Vaishnava deity, Vishnu deity, and not Shiva. For that, the plan was, the method that he adopted was, he kept the weapons of Shiva and weapons of Vishnu inside the Garbhagraha, closed the doors, and pleaded to God, whoever you are, please hold the weapons that belong to you.